Good morning, and let's talk about Bitcoin this morning.
Good morning.
I feel like that's the best way to start the morning, talking about
Exactly.
Bitcoin and complicated stuff, right?
Right.
So I'm here with Eric Larchevêque from Ledger Wallets. What have you been doing so far?
Well, we have been doing great. Our company has launched 1 year ago, and since then we have managed to become one of the leaders of security solution providers for Bitcoin, because security is a very important question in Bitcoin, because we are dealing about digital assets, money, and it's like cash, like gold. When you buy gold, you put it in a safe. You would just put it on your bed. So with Bitcoin, it's the same. Yeah, you need to have a real security, because when you own Bitcoin, what you really own are private keys.
So what kind of products have you released so far?
Well, we have adapted the smart cards to the needs of the Bitcoin. So this is a smart card, the same chip that you will find in EMV. You can open it. The same chips that you will find in EMV credit cards, the chip and pin credit cards, and it's on the USB form factor. So it's going to be connected right into your PC, your Mac, your Linux, and it will protect your private keys and make all the signature, the critical operations directly inside the chip.
So why is it more secure than storing your Bitcoins on your computer, for example?
A computer is not built, or smartphone, not built to be secure. And if you can get malware, viruses, they just need to scan the memory and they will find your private keys. And as soon as the attacker gets a hold of the private keys, all your Bitcoins are gone. So you really need to use secure chips to protect them, to manage them.
So how secure it is? Is it extra secure, super duper secure?
Yeah, it is very, very secure. This kind of chips have never been broken. This is the same technology used by the banking industry for decades, and it's extremely secure.
Do you use it yourself?
Yes, yeah. On this key, there are like more than 1,000 Bitcoins, actually.
1,000 Bitcoins on this
like
key?
$500,000.
So it's worth $500,000 on this key?
Yeah, on this key, yes.
So what happens if I leave with it and I basically stole your key?
Yeah, well, there are 3 levels of security. The first is the PIN code. So you need to know the PIN code, like 4 digits, for instance, and if you put it wrong 3 times, it will just wipe the key. After, you need, in fact, to open it on the computer, put the PIN, and when you want to make a transaction, to spend the Bitcoin, it will push my smartphone for a double factor confirmation. So you also need to get my smartphone and to get the PIN of my smartphone.
And can you remotely wipe the key or something like that?
No, because each time that you made the wrong PIN, you need to remove the keys and put it inside again. So you cannot get DDoSed, let's say, like that. You cannot just wipe remotely.
Okay, cool. And do you have any new product to show, maybe?
Yes, this was our first product. It is very simple, so it is very cheap. This kind of keys is about like $35, so it's very affordable. But now we have a new kind of products which are also based on secure chips, but with a screen. So the idea is that you can directly manage your Bitcoin on the screen. You will enter your PIN code directly on this secure screen, and then once you enter your PIN code and you want to make a transaction, you will be able to confirm the transaction directly on the screen. So
you don't need to plug it to your computer, essentially?
Well, you still need to talk to a computer, because it is not, it doesn't have Wi-Fi or it doesn't have a GSM, but you can directly confirm what you are doing directly on the screen. So it's like what you see is what you sign, and it's a very important security feature, because also it has open APIs, and you can use this kind of device also to do second factor authentication when you log into Google Apps, like a Dropbox, or if you want to encrypt or sign documents, you can really verify what you are signing directly on the screen.
Cool. How much does it cost?
We are planning to launch it on the Q2 2016. Now we have only like developers editions, around $200, but we really want to make this like mainstream device more affordable. So it will be between $100 and $150, something like that.
Let's pause for a minute and talk about the origin story. Why did you first get interested about Bitcoin?
Well, it's a story I'm following for a few years, and when I sold my previous startup, I had some time and, let's say, money on the end that I had to invest, and I really thought that Bitcoin was a very interesting technology because it's really changing everything, and you can do a lot of things that you couldn't do before. It's a real disruption. And I knew two other startups which were working in Bitcoins, and we were all a match, three of us, so we decided just to merge the three startups, and this is how Ledger is born, with the idea of bringing security features to Bitcoin.
Now, we both know Bitcoin currently is some kind of a lull, and some people are saying it's not as interesting as it used to be a year ago or a couple of years ago because people are failing to get interested into Bitcoin. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, there was clearly a bubble in the price and also a bubble in the interest. Everyone thought that Bitcoin will become mainstream like next year. And the reality is that it will not be the case. It's a very complex technology. It is a very complex economy. We are talking about money, finance, and people cannot change the way they are using the day-to-day payment means like that. Also, Bitcoin is very interesting when, let's say, you have your economy. You have some difficulty. You live in a country where you have, I don't know, like so capital control.
Like Greece or in a country
Greece
like
or
that?
South America or in Russia. But if you live in Europe or in the US, then it has some benefits because with Bitcoin you can use machines to make payments, you cannot cancel a payment, so you have like smart contracts, a lot of things, but it's not like something everyone really needs. And I think this was the error that people made like 1 year ago, thinking that it will take over the world. But it's not the case. It still is a very interesting piece of technology, but I'm not sure it will become like huge and mainstream like tomorrow. It will take a lot of time.
So do you think there will be some kind of use cases that will be more interesting than others, and it's not going to become some kind of general payment system?
Yes. First of all, like financial institutions, banks, governments started to understand that Bitcoin is not only a currency, it's also a technology.
Yes.
With the blockchain. And we have seen in the last months a lot of investments directly in the idea of the blockchain to make clearing, to have digital assets, a lot of different use cases that just the currency. And it is just the beginning of what we will be able to do. But it will take some time. My prediction is that we will have to wait maybe 5 years before we really
5 years?
Yes, it's a long time in the startup world. But I know that it will be a long time investment. It will not be like tomorrow something huge. I think we just need to be patient because the technology also takes time to develop and to become more mature.
And then there are people working for banks like Citibank and all these kind of banks who are investing into cryptocurrency in general, putting together teams working on Bitcoin research and stuff like that. Where do you think it's going? Is Bitcoin going to be a thing for startup, or are banks going to take over this new technology?
Well, I think it will be both, because one use case doesn't prevent the other. One thing is for sure is that if banks or fintechs doesn't grasp the potential of Bitcoin and the blockchain technology, in a few years, they may become, in a way, irrelevant for some parts of the financial industry. And I think that they understood that. That's why they have like hundreds of people working in teams analyzing the potential of Bitcoin, of the cryptocurrencies in general, or smart contracts, because we have here really the potentials for huge disruptions, and they want to be part of it. So definitely they will integrate Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies into their day-to-day process.
Cool. What's the most interesting use case you've seen so far with Bitcoin?
Well, I think it's
just one.
Just one. It's the international payments, because you can really pay anyone, anywhere. Usually the mass payments.
Have you heard about Freemit?
What?
Freemit?
Not this one.
It's a new startup. It's getting there. It's getting pretty popular. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Bitcoin is not the only way to do that, but it's the most easy way to do it, especially if you are dealing with a lot of countries or a lot of jurisdictions in the same time. So right. It's very powerful.
So maybe one last question, and I've got to ask this.
Yeah.
Is this your personal account on this?
Yes.
So you have $500,000 in Bitcoin?
Yeah, and
500, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and they are well secured. That's why I'm
So
pretty,
I think it's fair to call you the Winklevoss of France or something like that.
yeah, okay.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
I think we are going next with Jordan's interview, who is going to take the stage and interview a new guest. I'm not sure who is it. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.